And welcome back to Hot and Cold Podcast. We have another episode coming to you today. I think this is gonna go out the 4th, March the 4th. But it's your regular guys on today. It's me, it's Bryson, it's Connor. How you guys doing today?
You remembered this time.
I remembered this time. I did.
Are you gonna forget me this time?
No, I'm asking both of you guys
Okay.
how you doing today.
Good. Got to go my patented thumbs up on the Zoom call. So.
The Zoom audio podcast thumbs up where nobody's gonna see you.
Yes.
Unless this one goes up on YouTube. But today we have a very special guest on. He's on from the jump. It's not just an interview. He's going to be joining us for the entirety of this show. I'm not sure how long it's going to go, but Nick Norris.
How you guys doing?
Yeah,
I'm good, Nick.
We're doing all right. We're excited to have you on, man. There was a lot.
I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy I'm here.
There was a lot hyping up. Well, we get to it, but there was a lot hyping you up to come on.
Oh, I heard. Yeah.
Twitter, there was a war that went on about a week ago between you and one of the co-hosts on this show. We can get into that later. But Nick was prepped with a question. Go ahead.
Yes. I have one question for everyone here. And who'd you guys say the best team in the country was?
I said Gonzaga last episode.
Who said
Michigan?
I believe there were two.
I said Michigan.
Who said Michigan was the
I
best
said Michigan.
team in the country.
Yes.
All right.
Can I get the receipts on the Torres podcast? Because I'm pretty sure Sam agreed that Michigan was definitely in the conversation.
No, I said Gonzaga won.
Oh, okay.
I was pretty clear and adamant about Gonzaga being one.
Okay.
In the Torres interview.
Okay.
Now, Nick, I don't know if you listened to that podcast yet, but we had Torres on. Yeah, and Torres asked all of us.
So you listened to Sam blatantly say that Michigan was the best team, and he thought that for the past 2 weeks. Like you heard him.
In the Big Ten?
In the Big Ten. He said in the Big Ten. Sam goes, for the past 2 weeks, I've heard that I've changed my mind. So I think he's flipped again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I want to get out in front of this. So
sellout.
I got a lot of backlash for, in quotes, being a sellout. But I want to preface that by saying, when I say a team is the best team in the Big Ten, it is completely reactionary. 100% reactionary. It's 100% at the time, at this very moment, what has recently happened to lead me to this. In the best team in the Big Ten right now, yesterday before the game was Michigan. Right now is the team that just beat them by almost, we're up like 30 most of the game. And also didn't have, this is going to make Connor mad, a player of the year candidate. Not the player of the year, but a candidate for player of the year. Oh, yes. Let's get it going. But I want to get back to the Twitter war between Connor and Nick, and I think you guys need to at least talk it out. Hopefully it doesn't result in conflict. Hoping for no bad blood between the two. They both love their Big Ten basketball, but I don't care who wants to go first in this discussion.
Let me get out in front of that. So,
okay, Connor started it, so
this whole thing, I don't think Nick knew. I think he found out at some point.
He did find out
that it was somewhat of a bit at the start. I think this started.
I had no clue. No clue. I was like, why is this man just coming at my throat all of a sudden? I'm like, I've said nothing. I was like, what is going on? And then I started getting like real mad. You called me a bandwagon. And I was like, no, he didn't. I was like, no, he didn't. I was like, I sat through years of Illinois basketball, freaking 6 wins a season. Like,
you can cuss. We have the explicit tag. You can cuss mildly. We have the explicit tag.
Thank goodness. Well, I almost threw a bad one out, but you know.
I knew that. I assumed that one would get under the skin. This all started because Sam was on the Illinois train from the beginning. And
Sam has been on the Illinois train.
He has.
I noticed that.
And at that time, I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to completely disagree with Sam and just.
I have been
terrible.
Sam's been drinking the orange Kool-Aid. I don't know what's wrong with him. I have not. Sam's been on the train longer than I've been on the train because there was a point in time I was like, uh-oh. But
he's been like until recently. He's really been on Illinois this whole time. Never really gave up on him. He did. He
I never exactly gave up. I never gave up
for 2 weeks.
But there was a time, and I never liked Michigan. I came out and said I'm not in love with this team, but they are dominating. I've said that multiple times. I said I'm not in love with this team, but they are absolutely dominating right now. So they deserve the title. Now, I have been an Illinois fan kind of this year. I think they have one of the best rosters in the country. I like Iowa a lot. I think Kofi is just a monster in the paint. And I have to give Nick this because I've been close with Nick for years now. When I first was friends with him, Illinois was bad. And it was the freshman year of Trent Frazier and DeMonte Williams. And I just kind of learned about those guys before they got good. So now that they're good, I just kind of know more than the average person about this Illinois team. So I just kind of like the team. I think they're a contender. I think they always have been. Now, Connor disagrees.
Okay,
Connor, let's get into that.
I will say this. They're better than I have said they are. Because I think even Bryson and Sam have been on. They're a top 8 team in the country for sure. And I was like, they're top 15 in that range probably. There's like tier 1. You've got like Gonzaga and Baylor. Then you had like Michigan. You had like 3 through 8. And I say they're tier 4 probably. They're tier 3. They're a top 8 team for sure. I'll give them that. But
who are you putting in front of them?
Okay, so
all right. So
nationwide.
Gonzaga, Baylor.
Fair.
Okay.
I'm still putting Michigan ahead of them. Like I know they just smoked them, but
how? How are you putting Michigan ahead of them? Did you watch the game?
Sure, but like
that's 23 points at their place.
Fair. Well, it's not like there's a home court advantage.
What do you mean? You've been saying that Ohio State's still better than Illinois just because they beat them head to head. All right.
I definitely would take. I would take Ohio State.
That's
over
fair.
Illinois still probably.
I'm taking Ohio State on Saturday because that's not a good matchup for Illinois. But what I'm saying is Illinois is better than Michigan. That's why it's not a fluke when you beat someone by 23. They're better than them.
Sure.
That's why they won.
I'm not going to come off them with only 2 losses.
Them is what I'm saying.
Like if I'm filling out a bracket, like if I'm Joe Lunardi, filling out my 1 seed bracket, you can't have a team with 6 losses as a 1 seed over a team with 2 losses. It just doesn't work that way. You can't do that. If I had a power ranking, but Illinois would be better. But
it's mostly recency biased when it comes to that. And recently, Illinois is 9-1 in their last 10 games. Okay, so they've lost once at Michigan State, a game that Ohio State's lost to. I mean, not a tough place to play, as Indiana found out last
they're bad.
The other night.
They're bad.
That's also true. But you know what I'm saying? Like, as of late, they've been better. And their team is better, and Sam can vouch for this. Remember when we went to go watch the Mizzou game last year? Isle and Kofi looked like they'd never touched a basketball.
Yeah.
In December. So no, I'm not surprised that they lose games in December. But now they're a different team. They play – I don't know. They just play much better as a team.
They have improved. I'll give them that. They definitely improved. But, like, I just can't – I can't put them above Michigan yet. It's just – it wouldn't be smart. It's not smart. It's just not smart.
I'll grant Connor this. I like what he said about the Lenardi thing. Resume-wise, Michigan still has the better resume than Illinois. That's a fair. They're 18-2.
How so? How so?
Because they're 18-2. They're number one in the Big Ten.
18-2.
Now.
Yeah, but I will say that. But Illinois has 9 quad one wins, most of anyone.
And this is why I was never on the Michigan train, like big time on the Michigan train, just running with them for the whole season, because they have, and not their fault, but they went on the COVID pause. They missed. You can get to that real quick if you would like. He wanted to say this really badly. Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying they had the opportunity to play us after their pause, their fake pause that they extended their pause. Didn't want to play Illinois with Io. Io got hurt. We did this without our best. 21 points, six rebounds and 5 assists. Gone. Vanished out of the game. And you're telling me that we still beat them by 20 fucking
23, yeah.
Sorry, Sam. 23 points in their place without a best player. Without National Player of the Year candidate Io DeSumo. Without him, we still beat them by 23 at their house. Did you watch the game? I'll give you this. You know why Illinois won? We could have Io if you took Kofi out. If Kofi was out and Io was in, Illinois loses by 20.
Oh, definitely.
Easy. Definitely. It's not even a question. And I admit that. Why they won is because Kofi can guard Dickinson by himself. There's no need for a double team on Dickinson, leaving someone open. They were talking about that during the game. And that's the reason Michigan has 2 losses. Same thing happening against Minnesota. Dickinson didn't do very well. I mean, and then Minnesota's guys, they were there that day, like.
I think another reason is Curbelo.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fair for everyone that doesn't follow Illinois. It's like, I wouldn't expect him to come in and on the road as a freshman have 17, 6, and 2, I think is what he had. Like his production since Io's gone out has been Io level.
No,
I mean, he's basically filled in for Io completely. There hasn't been like that missing element in their offense. But hey,
he is.
Let Bryson's on the Michigan still better too. So I'm not the only one here. So maybe Bryson.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Look, when it comes to this discussion, Bryson, I don't want to step on your feet, but when it comes to this discussion, it's usually 1v2. Yeah. Now it's 2v2, so it's a more interesting discussion. It's not, but Bryson, go ahead. I'm just happy I have a guy on my side.
Like Connor said, I still think that Michigan is a better team. Now, last night without IU, that's like, I've got no words for that. Like, I don't know how that happened, but I think you've got to look at the entire season. Like, we've got a lot of body of work to look at and to look back on when you look back on who's truly better right now. I've been higher, not as high as Sam, not as low as Connor. I've kind of been in the middle. I think Illinois' Elite 8 good. I don't know if they're Final Four good, Nick. I do think that they're Elite 8 good, but I still believe in Michigan. I think Michigan's still the second best team in the country.
Wait. You still think they're better than Baylor?
Yes,
good.
I do.
You still think they're better than Baylor?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. Let me say something real quick, and then we can go back to that. So I'm just like thinking back because Sam doesn't know because his team plays in the SEC and it's usually an easy road. The Big Ten is a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet. We know that. So I think Michigan this whole season, COVID pause probably helped them a little bit. They hadn't hit that. I mean, no one goes undefeated in the Big Ten. Like that just doesn't happen. Like they were, and I hate saying this, but they were due for one of these games. They hadn't had one of these games all year long. And
oh my goodness! All right. So
I'm not saying it's an
Illinois was due for
excuse.
one of these games in East Lansing
It's
exactly
true.
a week ago, and got bombarded for it on the podcast.
What loss number was that though? Oh, that was loss number 6. It's a little different.
No.
6 versus 2 is a little different.
When you're beating, all right. When they beat a team who is also supposedly better than Illinois in Ohio State, they beat them handsomely, or not handsomely, but they won at their place. And then a team, I don't know, it just doesn't add up. And I'm not saying basketball is transitive property, but
EPP.
Well, hold on.
TPP hasn't been relevant for a while, but thank you for bringing it.
Listen to this stretch here. You play Ohio State on the road. You play Iowa at home, and then you play at Indiana, which is, again, they suck, but still not an easy place to play. It's been easier than the normal, and then you play Illinois. Like, that's a rough stretch. To come out to expect them to go 4-0. They don't have to go 4-0 to still be considered the best team in the Big Ten. The fact that they finished at 3-1, beating 2 top 10 teams, I'm not faulting them for that. Like, I can't fault them for going 3-1 in that stretch. They don't have a bad loss. Like, Illinois has a bad loss. Michigan State is a bad loss for Illinois. Like, for their state of their team, that's a bad loss for them.
So
I don't think Michigan has one.
You don't think their loss against Minnesota is a bad loss?
No, that is a bad loss.
Well, yeah, but we talked about this?
We did.
It's that weird schedule thing, when you play, again, not an excuse, but it's the weird COVID year when you're like playing that team twice in I think it was 3 days.
Yeah.
That's hard, but yes, Minnesota, bad loss.
Yeah.
They have won. Illinois has Michigan. They've had 6 losses.
I'll grant you this. Illinois' non-conference was 10 times harder than Michigan's.
Probably.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They played Baylor. They played Duke, who at the time, they're not a good team now, but at the time they were ranked number 10.
Oh, okay. Well, Minnesota was ranked when they lost. Minnesota.
I know. I'm not
counting. You can't do that.
Let's not count
Duke's bad.
Let's not count Duke.
Okay.
But then they got Missouri, who turned out to not be a bad team.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're okay, yeah.
On that night, at least.
Yeah, at that night. But yeah, that's in Michigan's non-conference was just incredibly bad. It was legitimately one of the worst, and that's why it took them so long to get into the top 15 because they didn't have any good wins. And of course, their first good win, they didn't really hit the tough part of their schedule until after the COVID pause. They pretty much got lucky with having a very weak start to their Big Ten schedule.
Is that lucky though to come off of whether
maybe it's not even lucky,
whether the COVID pause was their idea or not? I don't think that really it benefited them from a rest standpoint, but from a rust. That's gonna sound weird. That's not good for them coming off a 3-week pause, not even playing a game, and then going into that.
No, fair.
Again, they handled it well.
They did. They handled it very well, and then got clobbered. Now they're going back-to-back Michigan States. Let's see what happens.
All right. They lose one of those. Say they lose one of those.
Yeah.
Because I think they will.
I think they will.
They probably they'll split.
I think they're going to lose at Michigan State.
It's that weird. It's the I hate the way they're doing that. This 2 game, you can beat a team twice in a season in the Big Ten. That's already difficult. Now you're going to have to do it in 3 days. That's not.
And a rivalry game like that, but.
It's Tom Izzo in March.
Yeah, that's just Tom Izzo.
I'll say this. I'll say it right now. If Illinois wins the Big Ten tournament, if they win it.
Oh my gosh, that's what we have to do.
Okay, or beat Michigan. They're the 2 seed, right?
Do you realize Michigan's playing 17 games this year because they sat out for so long?
Yes.
We played 20 games.
No.
We're gonna.
No, Michigan's played 20 games. Michigan's played 20 games.
No, they have not.
They're 18-2.
No, you played 20.
Not in the Big Ten.
Oh, in the Big Ten, yes.
Oh,
no,
gotcha.
in the Big
Sorry.
Ten. In the Big Ten.
Okay.
In the Big Ten.
Gotcha. Wait, what was your point with that?
If they play 20 games, then Illinois would have won the Big Ten outright.
Ooh.
Oh, man. I don't know.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, Michigan, when you look at their record, they played the top teams in the Big Ten only once. They played Iowa once. They played Ohio State once, and they played Illinois once.
I guess, but I mean, Illinois only played.
If you think they're not
splitting everybody twice, though.
No, I mean that's sometimes just how the schedule works.
There's only 4 games. There are only 4 games less right now. And how many games does Illinois have left? Michigan's got 2 left, so they're going to finish with 17, and Illinois is going to finish. So they're only.
That's what I'm saying. They play 3 more games.
Fair. So
they're going to lose one. Of
Michigan would have to
State,
go.
Is what I'm saying. So out of 3 more games, I think they lose one of them.
Well, okay.
I mean, I'm not okay. I guess it depends on who those 2 games are. If they're playing Northwestern at home and Nebraska.
Yeah, and, I don't even know if they play. Did they play Nebraska this year? I don't even know if they did.
All right, I've got a question for you, Nick, and I'm genuinely curious because I don't know where you stand on this.
Yeah.
Do you think that Illinois is Final Four good, or where do you think that they are right now?
What do I think? What do you mean?
Like how far do you think they can go in the tournament? Like
how far do I think? I think they can be hoisting a trophy in 100%.
Okay. Do you think that's realistic?
It's definitely realistic. I think, but it's also. I just think their ceiling is there. Do I think they're necessarily going to get there? We're just going to have to see what happens.
Right.
But their ceiling is that. I think that 100%.
Okay.
Well, better question is: will you be disappointed if they don't win a national championship? That's, I guess, because you could say they're are you going to be disappointed if they don't go all the way?
Am I going to be disappointed? I'm not going to be disappointed because I don't play on the team. At the end of the day, it's I'm a fan. It's it's way more disappointing for them than it is for me. You know what I mean? I'm just, still got to wake up and go to school tomorrow. Yeah. Nothing changes for me.
And I think, and I don't know, obviously, I'd like to know what it's like in the college basketball world when you have, for most of your fandom with Illinois, I'll be honest, they've been awful. They've been terrible.
Hold on. And that I was going to get to that. That's why I feel that way. That's why I feel that way, because they used to lose every night. And when I was a kid, I would get so mad. I was like, oh, I'd be punching stuff. I'm like, no. I mean, they just slipped through their fingers too.
Yeah.
And I'd get so mad, but so there was a lot of hype around Iowa when he came in, obviously. And so his freshman year was actually their worst year in program history. So at that point, I was like, okay. I was like, this is it. I was like, this guy sucks. I was like, everyone on this team. I'm like, okay, they were loaded. I thought they were. I mean, Ed Io, Trent, DeMonte, they were good talent-wise, but I was like, oh my God. I was like, they've got all this talent and just had the worst year in program history. I was like, that's it. I was like, you can't be getting mad over this anymore. It's like the basketball gods are against them or something. I don't know. But so now that after all the years of them sucking, I just kind of don't. I mean, I would love to see them, win or go to the Final Four or something. But if they don't, it's
you're probably just happy that they're.
It's been so long since they've been in. It's like, hey, it's been so long since I say, hey, I'm an Illinois fan. They're like, why? You know, what in the world? Where is that? Like, you know, but now it's like, oh, they're on ESPN. Like, that's pretty neat. Like, every game would be on the Big Ten Network, you know, 2 years ago.
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm already at a point where I'm like, holy crap, like, I've never seen this before. Like, this is pretty neat. Is this what it's like to be a UK fan? Like, what's up?
Yeah. No, it's what it feels like. It's really fun. Obviously, I'm not feeling that this year, but I want to kind of transition a little bit in our topics. I think we did a pretty good job at wrapping up what we mean in the discussion of Illinois, Michigan, whatever. I want to reference a certain tweet that Nick put out. It has to do with how's the weather down there. So it was referencing Illinois being at the top of the Big Ten standings, Indiana being at the bottom. Can I get some opinions on Indiana as a program, their coaching? What do you think, Nick? Because we've talked about it a lot. Yeah, we've talked about it a lot.
Nick loves them.
Indiana's not good at basketball. I think I don't even like who's on their team. Trace is amazing. All right, that's it. Trace is good. Armand, like, he's good, but not always. You know, really inconsistent. It seems.
I'll make the question more concise. Is Archie the answer?
No, but I would like to just ask. You know, who else?
Yeah.
Who wants to walk into that garbage pile?
That's been my issue with it.
I've heard. I just want to make sure you guys aren't delusional and think that Brad Stevens could somehow be the coach for IU. Have you heard this thing before? Has anyone ever?
What are you talking about?
It is the worst delusion of the fan base, and it's somewhat transitioned now into Chris Beard. Like, Freddie.
No.
You know Freddie.
Oh my God.
Freddie Kudre legitimately tweets like every game during the Texas Tech, every game they win, he's like, can't wait to see Chris Beard come and save the program. It's like, why the hell would he come here? Like, that is not happening.
Well, my thing on, is Archie the answer? Well, I guess I'm like, okay, so John Gross coached before Brad Underwood at Illinois, and he was there for 5 years, did not. No, I think they went to the tournament because he was riding off the back of Bruce Weber. His players were still there, and they ended up barely making the tournament his first year. 4 years, nothing, kept getting worse. They fired him. Brad went in there with a horrible team and had the worst year in program history. This is his 4th year. And I mean, now they're a top 4 team right now. They're, ranked number 4 in the country. Is Brad the answer? Yeah, I think Brad's the answer. And I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, Archie got hired the same year Brad did. And I'm like, did IU get any better? No, I think they got worse. Everyone hated Tom Crean. Tom Crean had 2 outright Big Ten championships in 4 or 5 years?
Going down this road? I don't want to go down this road.
I'm just saying.
Look, he deserves a ton of credit.
He
was good.
And then Archie came in and made it worse. And I'm like, okay, it's just not good. It's not a good team.
Yes. Crean deserves a ton of credit. For what he came in and did and rebuilt their program was great. I think, look, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that none of us know. None of us know that about what Crean was doing. But I think they saw the program slipping from that last outright Big Ten champion.
Yeah.
And I think the plan was to bring in Archie to keep it from falling. Take what Crean built and build it and keep it going. And he has failed miserably. Horrible. Like the classes that Crean was getting his past 2 years were not good. Archie decided to keep one of them. He re-recruited his Crean's last class, and they are awful. They were one of the worst classes this school has had since Bob Knight left, not counting the sanction years. They're in trouble.
Well, I don't think they don't recruit very well because I told Sam this the other day. Well, where's Jack Nungy play? Which I'm not saying he wouldn't have gone to Iowa anyway, but they never gave him a sniff. You don't think he would be very good on IU? Would you like to see Jack Nungy play on IU?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to see Alex Hemingway play on IU?
100%.
Not saying that he would have gone to IU necessarily either, but I'm just saying, like, they never even gave him a sniff. And I'm like, these guys, I mean, Alex, he starts at Clemson now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jack was getting 6-man minutes on a top 5 team in the country and getting good ones, like being productive in those minutes. IU is missing guys in the state like that. I mean, not even giving them any bit of a look. I
think part of that was, and Bryson can back me up on this a little bit, because there was a lot of pressure when Archie came in to recruit the state and get the best players. And by best, I mean best ranked players.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Romeo.
He had to get Romeo, and he did.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't going to unless Kansas and Louisville didn't have allegations. But he got him, whatever. Didn't pan out. It's just, you know, it's weird too, because
that's another thing. How do you get Romeo Langford? And I remember they had lost 12 of 13 because the only win in that 12 of 13 was against Illinois.
Yeah, I was at home.
And I went to the game with Cam, and I was there, and I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, I shouldn't have came. This sucks. I've been to several games in Bloomington that I'm just like, I just die to go see Illinois. I'm like, oh, close. Let's drop to Bloomington and go, and just never think like, oh wait, they always lose here.
Wait, you're kind of a good luck charm for IU? Like every time I've been with you, I think we've been maybe.
You guys were at the Iowa game last year, weren't you?
Yeah, we were at either the Michigan State or Iowa
Michigan State game.
Or, yeah,
that was
right.
Cassius Winston, Michigan State. Now, like a good Michigan State.
Yeah, I think you're kind of a good luck charm for the Hoosiers.
I need to stop going to those.
I think Bryson and I are bad luck for Indiana. We're good luck for Illinois. We went and watched them play. It was New Year's one year. They played on New Year's Eve. This was like Crean. This was like one of Crean's last year's. Like, it was bad. I think Kendrick Nunn honestly was on the team.
Yeah.
Like, this was right before he left. It was like 2014, maybe, something like that.
Nick, do you remember the Myers-Leonard game?
Oh, gosh.
That layup? That beat in?
Yeah, that was the year. Oh, that was the Watford year.
Yes, I was at that game for that Myers-Leonard layup.
Why'd you have to bring up the Watford year?
Yes, in Champaign. I was at the game.
Because I think the Watt shot at halftime is the most comical thing in the world.
You were there for that. Oh, Sam texted me.
Does it happen every game?
No.
I think so. Thank God. Okay. No. All right. I just happened to be there for the one game, and I was like, "You're kidding."
So did I, Nick. So did I.
Sam was never. He was giving me shit for that immediately. I got a text during halftime. Sam was like,
before it was over. Before
me and Sam were together, and I was like, we were both looking at each other like,
that's never been done before.
This right now?
That's never been. Okay, good.
It was literally the first time I think it had been done ever.
So
I thought it was like a tradition. They pull out a cardboard cutout of who is that? Sam jumping, you know.
That was Darius Miller, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're pulling out cardboard cutouts for these boys. Like,
wait,
they're actually reliving it.
Oh, I think it was Darius Miller. Anyways, For the audience is definitely going to be confused on what we're even talking about. But
go look at Nick's Twitter. You'll be able to see it.
If you go look at Nick's Twitter, you'll
video
find it. But so Indiana put together this halftime show where they had a student I actually knew, by the way, dribble the ball down with Dickie V's call in the background with a cardboard cutout of Darius Miller contesting the Watt shot, running up to the cardboard cutout and shooting. By the way, it was pretty comical that he absolutely just airballed, just one of the worst shots ever.
That was a bad shot.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm not saying I could have shot any better down there, but it was a bad shot.
Yeah. It was incredibly embarrassing. I felt bad for them that they're still celebrating a December win from 8 years before.
Hold on. I'm not saying that they should keep celebrating past stuff, but that was like the turning point for the Crean era.
You mean the turning point to one Sweet 16?
Yes, but
was it 3? Did he get to 3? Kentucky beat them. Kentucky beat them in one Sweet 16.
Indiana beat them to go to another.
Then you got clobbered by UNC, and then you got beaten to Syracuse. Yeah. Got you. Sorry, I was just thinking of the Syracuse one. My bad. I'm not giving Crean his credit.
That's the thing. Like, I think that like that team with Watford and Zeller or whatever, like that's the best team IU's had.
Yeah,
20-something years. Probably the best team they will have for the next 20.
You just said Watford and Zeller. Did you go to the best player on the team?
Right? VO was the guy.
They were the upperclassmen that year, though. And that was the problem with Crean, is like, how do you have that team and not go farther? And then they kept going and hitting that wall. It was like, well, maybe they need a smarter guy, and Archie apparently is not a smarter guy, but it sure seemed like he was at Dayton.
Look, so I think the problem with Crean was just his picture. You see him taking down the 4 Diet Cokes a game. You see him sweating through not just his shirt, his suit jacket. You see him just like red face. The glasses are falling off, and he's just like yelling his heart out.
Well,
he looks embarrassed.
He walked miles during the game.
Yeah,
up and down the sideline.
The look of Tom Crean was kind of embarrassing. But I have to say, he had some success. He did. Maybe it was a lost cause. Maybe it was, but you ran him out. Not you, but the IU ran him out, and now look where you are. And like Nick said, they could be doing the same to Archie, but Archie hasn't produced. He has no reason to like stay. He has no like past accomplishments that would be like, this is why I should have my job. His past accomplishments was signing Romeo Langford, Trace Jackson Davis, and Christian Lander. That was the only thing that he's ever done, and beating Iowa a couple times. It's all he's ever done. So
I don't. Which is funny. You brought up how you didn't recruit Jack and Alex. Well, apparently, from what I had heard, Archie recruited Lander like pretty hard. Like, he was in Evansville like a lot.
Oh my gosh!
He had to have seen. I feel like he had to have known the other players in the area, so that makes it even worse that you let those kids go.
That's horrible, because Christian Lander is not very good.
You know, there was a story I heard. I don't know if it was Will Wade or an assistant, but an LSU assistant coach was at a game. I think this was last year, maybe the year before, at Castle, watching Christian Lander.
Really?
They left before halftime. Just a little bit of gauging how impressive Lander was on the scouts' eyes. Archie fell in love with him, I think more because of his ranking than his actual play.
We don't watch summer ball.
We don't watch summer ball, sure, but I've watched with my own two eyes somebody on this podcast just absolutely clamping Christian Lander for an entire game.
That's not true.
Now, if this one podcaster would like to comment, they can.
That's not true. I mean, it's just not.
My own eyes, Bryson. Like, if you want to say that I'm going blind, if you want to say that
he was quite contained that game.
Contained. That's the word.
Maybe shut down isn't the right word, but Bryson contained him and held him to a.
I think he just missed a lot of shots. I think that's what it was.
Oh, don't be hard on yourself, Bryson. We're talking to you.
Trust me.
This is your high school. This is your deal. This is your number one after 2 games in the country in passing yards, and you clamped Christian Lander.
No,
you got to run with both of these things for as long as you can.
I tell you what, right now, if you trot Bryson out and Christian Lander and line him up on the 3-point line,
I might be in the 3-point.
I'm taking Bryson because, or a layup contest or inside the 3-point line. I think Lander finally made a layup a couple games ago.
He would be shook.
I think he would. I think if Bryson trotted out there, he'd be like, "Oh shit, this is the guy that got in my head." Bryson,
that's that 5'8" blonde kid from Castle. What am I gonna do?
Bryson would immediately be like, "Yeah, you remember me." Here we go.
Oh gosh, but yeah. I mean, I would love to have a Christian on. I'm not like hating on Christian. He very well could be a great college player. It's just not his year. He maybe should have waited another year in high school, but I don't know. Yeah, it's arbitrary.
Yeah.
You'll get more development maybe in Bloomington, but that's about.
I hope he's getting more development in Bloomington than Wright High School.
Then after Wright,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Reeds. They were saying Reeds the other night. Robbie Hummel was saying Reeds.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Jack's not even from Newburgh. Did you guys?
He's Evansville, isn't he?
He's not even Evansville. It's Newcastle. They refer to him as.
Oh my God!
Like Newburgh doesn't even show up on the map. They got to send him from some Indianapolis suburb instead.
Oh, they got the graphic, and they're like, Newburgh, and then they look it up on the map. And I was like, oh, I think this is a typo. They're talking about Newcastle. That's the exact process that they went through for that. Yeah, I don't know. We get no love. I wanted to end this a little bit with some love to Southern Indiana. Nick brought it up with Jack and Alex. Way to go. But yeah, it's about all I got. Short little episode. I just wanted Nick to come on because he's been biting at the bit to come on and talk about Illinois. We got some good talk on Illinois. How are you feeling about them now, Connor? Did your mind change whatsoever?
It's not fully changed. I think they're better than I thought. I'll admit that, but I'm not there. I think Nick should come back on.
Absolutely.
If Illinois makes this tournament run, he should come back on, and then maybe I'll admit it.
I have a Final Four, and no spoilers. Illinois is on that Final Four. I've said this Final Four many times on the podcast. Obviously, Gonzaga, Baylor, West Virginia, Illinois. It's my Final Four. That's something I haven't changed on, Connor, for you.
It's true. You haven't changed on that yet. Nick, who's your Final Four? Before we let you go.
My Final Four?
Yeah.
Gonzaga, Baylor. I think Baylor's the best team in the country. Period. I don't know why you guys don't think that. I think they've been getting better, and I think every other team's getting better too. But Gonzaga, they proved themselves in the beginning, but there's a reason, they don't play the tournament in December.
Yeah.
They played in March, and everybody else has been getting better all season long. So, I don't know. That's where I'm at on that. They're second. They're going to the Final Four too, although, in my opinion. I got to put Illinois in there. I have to. Fair. And the last one, though, I might have to say Michigan. I'll have to go with Michigan. Just because we're in Big Ten country. Playing the whole thing in Indiana.
Well, they're both 1 seeds now. I'm looking at it, which actually would change my opinion a little. I'm looking at Illinois' bracket, and they have lucked out. And the 2 seed they'd have to play is Alabama. I think they match up great against Alabama. I don't know how you guys feel about that. And their bracket, they would have to play West Virginia, though.
Oh, that would suck. They can't do that.
Sam, I don't know what you're going to do though. That would be a great game.
They can't do that.
They're in the Illinois region. They'd have to play Oklahoma State. I'm guessing they're the 4 seed in that region, and then Alabama and West Virginia are the 2 and 3. So
that's by no means a cakewalk, by the way.
Oh, that's a tough region.
Yeah, by no means.
It's not good. I was skipping over West Virginia. I saw them. I was like, oh wait, I should probably take back what I just said.
Oklahoma State is one of the hottest teams in the country as well.
I'm not sure.
Cade Cunningham.
Huh?
Don't want to see Cade Cunningham.
No, you do not want to see Cade Cunningham. I want to.
Oh my God.
How about you guys give a Final Four? I don't think I've heard. I think I might have been the only one that gave one and like really pressed it on the audience. But what is your guys' Final Four? Before we get going.
You want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
I got Gonzaga. I got Michigan. I'm going to put Florida State in there. I think Florida State. And I'm going to go Villanova.
No Baylor.
No Baylor.
Okay, Bryson. I'm gonna stop you just because I'm looking at which this is gonna change anyway, so it's kind of dumb. So Florida State and Villanova are in the same.
Well, that's just a bunch
along with Michigan.
Oh god. So I've only got 1 team left.
It's Michigan's Gonzaga is the easiest region in my opinion.
Which they should with the S curve. They're going to be the number 1. Yeah.
The 4 seed they'll have to play is Texas, who is falling off a cliff at this point.
Yeah.
And the 3 seed in their region is Kansas, who none of us buy Kansas. So
that's a week 3.
And then Iowa's the 2. So they already beat Iowa once, and I think they match up well with them. So
Gonzaga might just I don't even think they have to show up to the gyms.
Probably not. Illinois has got a pretty tough road. Baylor, theirs isn't bad. I mean, oh God, actually, theirs might be the easiest. Houston's the 2, which I'm not saying Houston's a pushover, but
hey, Houston's great defensively. They're suffocating.
Arkansas is the 3.
Week 3, strong 4.
Purdue is a 4. Purdue is not good.
Who's the 5?
Creighton.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's the easiest road.
That's terrible.
So Baylor locked them in for the Final Four.
And of course, this is what we got to go.
Aren't the tops the 12 there?
Ooh,
Man, I forgot about the tops. I'm riding them to the Final Four. Forget Michigan. Forget Michigan. Roll tops all the way to the Final Four. Got to throw that out there. Bassey, National Play of the Year.
Forget oh my goodness! Hey, we showed love to Western Kentucky on this podcast.
Sam did, and then he jinxed them. He jinxed them completely.
Look. I said something about them playing Houston, and then Houston. It was just Quentin Grimes. Just absolutely dismantled.
All of our sleeper teams that we picked that day lost immediately. Lost 2 in a row. Bryson, Boise's lost 3 in a row?
Yeah.
I mean, we totally – we're
Boise
bad.
State is the last team in the tournament in some different bracketologies I was watching last night. They're the last team in. I still think they get in because they just can't have a dynamic guy like Derek Olsen Jr. out of it. But, yep. So, Connor, did you give yours? Give me yours before we go.
It's tough, man. I'm going Gonzaga in that region. And Baylor in the other one.
Yeah.
In Illinois region, I would probably lean West Virginia. It's West Virginia or Illinois for me. I'm not a believer in Alabama. I probably go West Virginia just because I am fearful of Oklahoma State beating Illinois. I feel like the Cade Cunningham-Io matchup would be
electric,
amazing.
Yeah.
So I'd probably lean West Virginia just because their road might be a little easier. And then in the Michigan region, oh God, like I don't even. Oh man, I don't know. I want to say Villanova in that region. Give me Villanova. Because I think Florida State would I could see them upsetting Michigan.
Oh my goodness. All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Where's Nova at? Is Nova above Illinois?
No.
Is
Illinois
Nova
a
above
1.
Illinois in your
Oh no. Oh, in the
in
yours.
Like a ranking. In a ranking. Is Nova above Illinois?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Do
you guys watch basketball? You guys have obviously never watched.
They're probably not. They're probably not. They're probably not on mine. Hold on, let me.
Yes, Nova's ahead of Illinois.
Oh my gosh. Is IU too while we're at it? Everyone ahead of them fairly.
My God, they should. You watched that game. Indiana choked the wanted Indiana away. Illinois was.
No, they did. They did do that. But I mean, that was a 52 foul game. I mean, come on.
The Big Ten, the refs are just.
Try being an SEC fan. SEC has the most fouls far and away.
No, Big Ten.
Oh no, the stats. The SEC is
it's
far and away.
SEC. It's definitely
SEC.
Big Ten, that the Illinois Michigan game. I like the officiating of that. I thought it was good. I mean, might be biased. But,
the Ohio State Michigan game was good too. Like they let them play. And
I think when they're playing prime time games, I think they call them a little. They're not going to call everything. They're not going to call 52 fouls when they're playing a 7 o'clock game on ESPN.
So ahead of Illinois,
nobody wants to see that.
I would put Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor, West Virginia, Villanova, and I'll have Illinois. So Illinois 6. Illinois 6 for me. I hate Iowa, so.
You had Villanova above them, though.
I do like them.
All right, I have the stats. This was published almost a month ago. I can't find anything else for this, but SEC 7,700 fouls up to that point. ACC is the next with 6,900. SEC gets 39.6 fouls called per game. The next highest is 35.
I think
Big Ten is the third most.
Big Ten might be the most inconsistent then.
Sure.
That's probably.
I agree with that.
I mean, my God, they could in IU Michigan State game. There's 45 foul. They were in the bonus. In the first 3 minutes, second half, there was 8 foul calls.
Yeah, dude, the SEC is it's pretty consistent, just consistently terrible. Like just some of the worst officiating ever. But all right, we got on a tangent. I've been trying to end this one because I wanted to keep it short. Nick, thanks for coming on. We're definitely going to have you on when there's more Illinois stuff to talk about again. Obviously, this is a prime time to have you on. I'm happy I scheduled this about like a week ago. Not even not knowing Iowa was going to be out. It
was an easy call anyway.
I thought and then I heard Iowa was going to be. I was like, oh, I mean, it's not even going to be competitive. Like,
yeah, I think pretty sure I texted you saying, hey, I might not be able to come on because Connor's going to slander Illinois too much.
Well, even then, my argument would have been just invalid. Even if Michigan won, what was I going to say? Yeah. You could just counter everything with Iowa. It was Iowa.
Well, yeah.
It was going to be an invalid argument for me.
Like, what do you mean? National Player of the Year candidate out.
Yeah.
All right, but thank you guys for joining me on this podcast, and thank you guys for listening. Do you guys have any final words before I say the 3 famous words you guys love to hear?
Let me just say the feud between Nick and I was not probably as fiery as everybody thought it was.
I know. I was hoping for like fireworks. I was hoping for like we got a few cuss words. I think Nick introduced why we have the explicit tag pretty early, so we just ran with it. But you guys have any last words besides that?
I'm just glad, happy to be here, happy to be on. Thanks for inviting me, guys, and ILL.
All right, Bryson, is that all you got?
That's all I got.
He's blowing kisses in the camera, and love you guys.